Alright, so we are all live. So let's hit resume and get back into it. Now, what were we doing last time? I believe we had just been fighting some biters and expanding out the Factorio. I almost just got hit by a train. But I didn't get hit by a train, so there. Alright, now I have this, which I want to upgrade with this. And yeah, let's just clear all this out first so that I can see what I'm doing. Actually, wait. Those boxes are going to be full. That's fine. We'll deal with that later. Alright, so deconstruction has been set. And now all that is happening. Alright, the train has returned and seemingly immediately left. Interesting. Sorry about that. Quick sneeze. And a whole lot of drone stuff going. I guess they're just put all that into trash slots so that we don't have to deal with it. Yep, and here come the massive swarms of drones. Off to take all that stuff away. And keep the iron ore going to trash. Alright, this train seems to just be going around in circles, which is a bit wasteful of fuel. And speaking of which, we should set up a chest there with an inserter, and you are going to request solid fuel. Just keep 50 of it. Meanwhile, let's keep all of that in the trash slots. So eventually that will happen. And now we just have to wait for this dismantling, which you'd think would have happened by now. I guess moving all that iron ore is taking up a lot of the drones. Here comes a massive wave. And there they go. Let's keep the old inventory cleared out. We don't need all that junk. Don't need those old splitters either. Alright, surely any second now the rest of this stuff will get deconstructed. The worker speed is currently being upgraded, so that will help these guys move a lot faster as well, which will be nice. But for now, we just sort of have to deal with it. And I guess we could go... Wait, no, I clicked on the wrong thing. I need to find this in here. And pop that in. Apparently it's just out of range of drone port. So let's put a drone port in there for extra coverage. And then hook it all up. And then I want this to request iron ore and just as much as possible. And then bulk inserter onto that line, power it up. And so then we're still gonna have to wait, but eventually all of this iron ore that's getting taken out of these boxes will get cycled back into this box, so it will all get used eventually. Once this power line gets placed. There sure is a whole lot of this to do. Yeah, we need more upgrades for our workers so that it doesn't take like this long to do a simple task. Alright. Any second now, there's got to be a drone with the power pole coming along here. I mean, they've done most of the rest of this stuff. Maybe if I walk down next to it. Now I'll just place it in manually. That's fine. So this is going to have to suck up some power. Oh, okay. So with the entire massive swarm of drones going and it being nighttime, we don't actually have the power to do all this, apparently. So that is a bit of a problem. We're gonna need to upgrade our power then. So more solar panels, more accumulators, probably more steam turbines as well. For now, we're in a bit of a predicament in terms of power. So it should be fine when daytime comes around. And we are still getting some progress done, but not nearly enough. Alright, looks like the sun is rising a little bit. Solar power is now going to be live. And very slowly is ramping up. So now this can also serve as that, and this is receiving a whole bunch of iron ore. Alright, any second now. Being attacked, that's might actually be an issue at the moment. If the power is still not up to full. If the power is still not up to full, that attack... I mean, because our laser turrets rely on power. So that sort of attack could have been a problem. Seems like it was fine, though. Alright, let's just add that in. And apparently that's not active. And do this for all the rest of these as well. Just if I have any of these things in my inventory, just take them away. And wood too. Don't need any of that. Alright, so now that it's daytime, the infinity drone swarm is still too much, apparently. So yeah, we need way more power to be able to get this going properly. And that, yeah, I mean we're getting there at this point. Pretty much mostly done. So now we just need to put in this blueprint, which will go in there, and then turret was destroyed down there. And a wall. Alright, that's probably bad. Probably a significant issue. Let's run down there and check to see what happened. So down we go. It's past this. Oh, it's all the way down. It's all the way down at the other iron patch. Alright, we're gonna have to figure out how those defenses are doing. Are they still all gun turrets, or did I put lasers down here? Looks like I did put lasers down here. But this area is... Whoa, got hit by a train. So this area is not within drone coverage. I don't think. Yeah, definitely not. Which means that this area isn't getting repaired at all. So it's probably just got worn down over time. So first we cover that in. It also looks like for some reason I put the laser turrets only on the north face, which is like the opposite of the face you'd normally want to put them in. So let's get a whole bunch of these guys going. And then we just power them all up, like so. And probably just another 2 there. Alright, that ought to be well defended, although it looks like there might be attacks here, so let's get a turret there and power it up. There are these dead biters, which is maybe a sign. Yep, we've got all sorts of lasers. They're very, very convenient. Alright, so now we need to head back up to the main base and get all the rest of this stuff sorted out. So up we go. These poor drones are stranded in the wilderness. They're gonna have to figure out how to solve that at some point. So we are back up here. And right, so we are currently being affected by belts, which means that our personal batteries aren't working well enough. So there's personal battery Mark IIs, which are an option. And they store like 5 times as much for the same space. So we can get that upgrade at some point. And then I think also it might just be a drone related thing where we are using all of our power on drones. So we might also just need do something about that. Alright, worker robot speed is 93% researched. So that is almost done. And now we need to reconnect this in now that I've finished messing with it. Alright, so you go up there and into there and a little bit further. Alright, and the train has just gotten, like, it leaves after 5 seconds of inactivity, so it will have to return. Let's also power that on. And now we have this, which should distribute a lot more evenly. And what are we doing here? Still got just some random stuff that needs to be moved around. And yeah, unlock speed modules 2 at some point. I don't remember ever doing that. Alright. So, I guess the next thing to do will be to get those power upgrades. So let's head over here. What do we need for that? We need low density structures and personal batteries, which requires steel beams mostly. So let's see if we can... I mean, there are a whole bunch of batteries here. Just pick up some of those. Alright, steel plates. Here are some steel plates. Let's grab all those. And... oh. It's putting these in trash slots. No, stop it. Give me those back. I want to craft these. Alright, the robots are faster. We've done it. And now we can just make them even faster. We have actually reasonably fast robots for a change. That'll be nice. Alright, then we can reactivate that, I guess. So those will be crafting up. And then we go to here. And we're going to just have to replace some of those with them. Is our current battery capacity currently reading 0 joules? So I guess it's the solar panels that are the problem. Because we're probably just fully using our roboports or something. Now you would think that all of these... maybe I'll just fill in every single remaining space. And maybe that will help. Alright. So the personal roboports are filling. You can tell the green bars are ticking up ever so slightly. And there isn't like a upgraded portable solar panel, right? At least not that I've unlocked. There is an upgraded energy shield. So we're just going to have to be patient, I guess. And in the meantime, let's run over and figure out what over here needs to be powered up. Okay, so the solar panels are running along. The accumulator has filled up already. So what that means is we need more accumulators. Did I ever make Yes, I did make a blueprint for those. So we can just run over here and place down another gigantic batch of accumulators. And hopefully this will help. Alright, so how does this line up? Does it line up in any particular way? Not really. So we're just going to place them in right next to the solar panels. And yeah, let's get a third block in. Now we are going to have to build all of these up. Okay, looks like the personal battery finished just now. So let's grab you out and throw you in. And somehow we're still generating energy despite the fact that it is nighttime. Alright, and then this whole row apparently needs these, except for like some of them weirdly. Alright, so those can all go in. And now the accumulator has somewhat more power, but probably not enough. So we still need to craft more of those, which will just happen eventually. And then the rest of these will need to get filled up. How much power the accumulator is using? Not all that much to keep up as it is currently. Steam turbines are great at doing the majority of that work. But they are still slightly necessary. Alright, so that should be at least a little better for now. I'll have to come by later to see how well that ultimately turned out. In the meantime, we're just going to have to head up and continue working on the modular factory setup. Right, sure, some stuff is getting delivered to us, that's fine. Not going to complain about free deliveries. Up we go. Alright, so these drones are just taking the iron ore down to be recycled back into the system. Very glad I got that set up. Okay, so this is the old scuffed setup, which I don't want to continue using. And so we're going to continue heading up north and see how this setup is working. Oh, don't get hit by a train. Alright, so we have no iron ore making it over here. So where is all the iron ore going? Where is all the iron ore going? We're gonna have to figure that out. Because I'm pretty sure I set up a whole giant train of iron ore. And I thought I saw it working. So let's head down here and see where it is. Whole lot of walking around that has to be done, unfortunately. Alright, let's go through that. And replace it with a gate so that if I find myself stuck on the wrong side of the wall there in the future, we won't have to worry about it. Alright, now we continue heading down. And we just need to figure out what is going on with this. So this train is filling up. Also that corner is being attacked as usual. Full cargo inventory is getting there bit by bit. And then it'll go to the iron ore input, which could be any of a couple of things. So probably it's just like going to the wrong iron ore input or something. That would be the best guess. How is this going on the recycling? Still working on it. I should probably set up something like that for the other types of ore as well. I'll do that next time I'm down there, which frankly will hopefully be a while from now, but still. Hopefully I'll remember. This has got to be almost full, right? Yeah, it fills up to like 2K. There's just 1 or 2 slots left in all of these. And then it will take off. There we go. How close are you? Very, very close. Alright, that's good. There we go. Where are you going to go to? Going to go up. Alright. And you've gone off my screen. I'm going to follow it on the map as best as possible. And it looks like it is going to go into the correct spot. It is. Cool. Alright, so then is it just a throughput problem? Is this furnace area just using up a whole lot more iron ore than we're producing? That could be as well. Alright, so this is going, and it's filling the boxes, and the boxes are filling the belt, and then the belt is filling the train. Okay, that's not good. We don't want that train just parked there. So I think the way we fix that is we go here. Train limit of 1. So obviously at the moment this won't do anything, but in the future hopefully that train won't go here because it is occupied. Also, this is one of the weird little mini trains. I don't know if I want it to even continue existing in the first place. Alright, so these... Yeah. So now we have a problem where this little mini train is causing a deadlock. Can I drive you backwards? No. Okay, so what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to set all of these to train limit of 1, otherwise these sorts of problems are going to happen just anywhere where this sort of thing occurs. And then we're going to have to... There's not much in here, so let's just dismantle this train. Out you go. Yep, train problems as usual. It's just never ending at this point. Alright, and then we're going to want to replace this. Alright, so let's take that out and replace it with the newer, better version. So that's going to cause that train to get confused and leave, which is fine. It's also going to cause all of the drones to go and take those plates over. Alright, now, in order to make sure that that happens, let's get a requester chest to take steel plates. So, now, if steel plates do wind up in the logistics network, then they will just get put back in there, which should be good, hopefully. Yeah, seems to be at least somewhat working. Now, they're not smart, and they seem to be taking them all the way across the planet first. Also, another turret has been destroyed, so that's probably a bad sign. Okay, now it seems to have been repaired, so I guess it's not a problem. Alright, so over here we have the gears, which I think we probably don't have anything that is actually taking the gears. Yeah, so that is just all locked up. And then we go over here to the copper, and let's see, this is the copper plates where they actually get output to, right? Okay, why is none of this running? Why are all these machines just sitting here pointlessly? Did I set them up backwards? I think I set all these inserters up backwards. Yeah, all these inserters are backwards. So let's just get those rotated real quick. I don't know how that even happened. I thought I had been copying a blueprint for this. Maybe rotating the blueprint did weird things? Alright, so we just have to do all of this, and that will be fixed. Alright, and then, you know, I could have sworn that these were actively working previously. What happened to cause this? It makes no sense. Like, there are plates in there, which presumably came from these machines. I am extremely confused. I am extremely confused about how all of these wound up backwards. But we're just gonna flip them around and then hope that it's not some weird bug. Like, that would be pretty annoying. Alright, so those are all back together. And I'm going to want to productivity module them as much as possible. Alright, so those are in, and will be somewhat more efficient. Eventually we'll get more modules delivered, and I think I actually want to set that up to 100, since we always seem to be running out. Alright, so that is now working and outputting some copper. So we have copper. We have copper plates, we have iron plates, we have gears. So next step is going to be copper cable. And then from there we can get electronic circuits. And then we're sort of off to the races. Although I'm not sure that this copper setup is actually going to be enough. We'll have to see how it works. But let's head up here. And let's see. Apparently there are all sorts of biters up here. But that's probably fine. Hopefully they'll just ignore us. So we get another train square in, and it lines up like that, I think. And in it all goes. And now we get to see all this stuff get placed. Okay, is that... What is that doing there? That's probably not supposed to be there. Yeah, okay, so that needs to go out, and that needs to go back in. Any other similar looking problems? Not that I can immediately see, at least. Alright, so this is still trying to connect up. So the problem is that those power lines don't go anywhere. So we're going to have to just put that in. And you're not connected to rail, you will be eventually. The robots being faster is certainly helping a lot. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better. Now, I think this is actually my first time going up to a second row here, so it's quite possible that some more problems will emerge. Alright, so we need more train stops. Probably need more railway signals. Actually, I think I automated those at some point, didn't I? Yes, I did. Alright, so we now have theoretically plenty of rail signals. That shouldn't be an issue. And this can all go together. Personal drone port is helping a lot, of course. It's still not like the fastest thing ever to get assembled. And also we should take this defensive box out. We don't need that there. What we could use is a defensive line up here, because I mean, technically they're not in pollution, but like they're going to be right next to this. All right, so this should be good enough. I don't know why I'm having the drones do that. I guess it's easier to dismantle stuff. All right. So all of this can get built. And then we get our line of turrets, which can be relatively spacious at the moment, because they do have a minimum power consumption, so I don't want to just absolutely spam them. And this will be close enough to where I'm going to be most of the time that if there is a crisis, I can just react pretty quickly. Now, is this... It's probably within repair range, I think. Alright, so now we just have to take power up here. And then just spam it along. Like that. Okay. Another major attack down somewhere. But... okay, it looks like they're even getting some robots as well. But it was dealt with. And in the meantime, this train square has been built. Alright, so now that we have this, we can put in the train stops. So this is train limit of 1, and it is copper plate input. So we set that, and we're going to actually need to... oh, actually, we already have some trains. We do need cargo wagons, though, for them. So, we go here, we go 4-train unloader. And we pop you in there. Then we get a train. There we go, train. And 1, 2, 3, 4 wagons. Alright, now we get a requester chest and an inserter. And you can request solid fuel, but only like 50. And then that can get powered up. And then in the meantime, this can have some solid fuel just from my inventory. And then we have to add station. So it's going to go to copper plate output and wait until either full cargo or inactivity. It's going to go to copper plate input and wait till either empty cargo or inactivity. And that should be everything, I think. Just set you to automatic mode and off you go. Okay, now we have some rail signals which aren't correct. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. They seem to have gotten around up here. Alright, what on earth happened there? This whole area has a turret. I guess I'd better give it a couple more. And there's a tank that I had previously constructed. It's fine. That's okay to lose. But if they're attacking here, that's not good because this wall isn't defended well. I mean, it's just the forest in the way. So let's make that a proper corner. And I cannot see through the trees, but alright, that should be a wall now. And we just need to put the turrets in. Like that. And then power them all up. Alright, hopefully that will be enough defenses for this area. Looks like it's those guys. Oh, but they're also dangerously close to this. Yeah, that nest is actually like a massive problem. Alright, so this is also going to have to be walled off pretty high up. I guess we can just meet up with this cliff. And then that should be fine. And probably what we should do is just destroy that biter nest. Yeah, let's just go out and destroy that biter nest. It's going to be more effective than just letting it sit there and just attack all of these various points in my base. Yeah, it's literally right there. Okay. Now, how much turret range is there? We need to get up to, like, there-ish. Alright, so we get a big electrical pole here. And then we go turret box. Rotate it like that. And there you go. That ought to be close enough. Yeah, they won't react until the actual turrets themselves start going in. And by that point, it's at least partially defended. And I'm going to help with some grenades. Alright, so that is the first couple. That's like the biter swarm itself and the first couple of nests. And now we just go right up in their face. And don't die. Stay relatively safe distance. And apparently we are completely out of walls. How did that happen? When did we completely run out of walls? I mean, biter base dealt with, but running out of walls is weird. I'd really rather not run out of walls when they're so handy to have. I'm actually not even sure they make a huge difference in this design, but it's concerning that I ran out of them. Is it just because I placed a lot recently and they haven't been in drone range? It's probably just that. Probably nothing to super worry about. Alright, what are all of these guys doing? Where are they all even going? It's difficult to say. I'm sure they're doing something important. Okay. Yeah, you... Oh, I almost got hit by a train. You don't need to continue existing. We can just let that tank be destroyed. Unfortunately. Alright, now back to what we were doing without that extremely annoying biter nest in the worst possible location. So, we have this, which is doing... The copper plate is doing something. And then we just need to set up for an output, so 4-train loader, and it goes there, And then all of that stuff can get filled in. And we might need to... Yeah, we're going to need to make that connection across to power it all on. Alright, so now we have that. So now we just have to make the copper wire production line in between, which... Oh, I never blueprinted that assembler row that I made previously. So let's wait for that train to pass, and then head down this way. Alright. Just gonna sit here while... Because we apparently were running low on some important stuff previously, which means we should just let the supplies get retrieved. And there we go. There's also a whole bunch of walls, which is nice. Alright, so that should be pretty solid for now. So, now what I want to do is go down here and just confirm again that I never made a better version of this. Right, so just going to grab that, and you are called assembler row. Create the blueprint, and I guess we may as well just bring it up here. And we're gonna have to change the recipes, obviously, and rotate it a little bit. Alright, so we just go something like that. And I don't know. Pop it in. Then that goes up into it. And these need to be reconfigured to make copper cable. And that gets pasted across to all of those. Alright, so now that can just finish getting built. And all done. Now we just take this over to here and into there. Alright, so that should all be set up to make copper wire once the copper bothers to show up. Now the other thing I want to do is, while I'm up here, I want to have a buffer chest in this area so that with that assigned, so that way we can get the travel time of our basic resources even faster, and that should speed things up a lot, because now the drones will just have to go from here instead of all the way the other side of wherever they're going. Okay, so now it has been suspiciously long and this has not received any trains. So there is one train with the stop, and it seems to be stuck. Seems to be stuck. Alright, let's head down. I guess we'll wait for those resupplies to happen. Now, why have you gotten stuck down here in this absolute mess? Alright, so that rail signal... Where does that rail signal even go to? It's this whole massive thing. Oh, I see. So that is going to need a signal. And then that can go. And then this is going to happen, of course. Alright, so I think that is going to need to be solved with like a chain signals and stuff. Those are chain signals are things which exist. Which, do I have any of them? I do now. So let's just craft up a bunch of those. And I guess... Okay, so we can temporarily fix this by... Oh, do I have to set you to manual? Scooch you forwards a little bit. Then hop out. Then go into here. Set you to manual. Drive you past. And alright, now you get set to automatic and let me out. Oh, I got out and immediately turned the wrong way and ran into the train. Alright, now we need to just set that back off. And let's see, how do we just like spam chain signals everywhere, I guess? How about you get to be a chain signal? And you get to be a chain signal. And you get to be a chain signal. And what do all these chain signals do? No clue. But hopefully they will prevent that from happening again. Does this also need to be a chain signal? Probably. Alright, now the problem is that this is the iron plate output that this is going to, or the copper plate output, but I don't want it to be. Congratulations, you're Hjorvir. All the train stations that I do not want to use are now Hjorvir. Alright, so now we can just make sure that the actual copper plate output that we want is not Hjorvir. And then that should be good to go. So we walk up here. What are you called? You are Hjorvir. Now you are copper plate output. Okay. So now we just need to find that train and fix it. Oh, it's going to be stopped at some random Hjorvir, isn't it? That might be a problem. We're going to need to find it. Actually, it might still be down there. Is that it? It's moving too quickly. Alright, yeah, no, you don't go to Hjorvir. You go to copper plate output until full cargo or 5 seconds of inactivity. Alright, hopefully that solves the problem. And we should get copper plates loaded up onto a train. See some biters biting away at a wall. I wish they had like a way of just only giving the alerts if the thing in question wasn't, if the biter in question wasn't being attacked. Like if the biter is there and it's getting shot by a laser, I don't really care. The problem is if the biter is there and it isn't getting shot by a laser and it's just chewing through stuff. That's when it becomes a problem. Alright, so this is now filling up this train. And it's doing so not the fastest in the world, but probably fast enough. These boxes, yeah, these boxes look like they're remaining full throughout. So we probably need more, we probably need faster output. Like just 3 bulk loaders might not be enough to get full speed ahead. Okay, a laser turret was destroyed. So we're gonna have to go down and investigate. Where is that, and how did that happen? Alright, through that little gate. And keep on running down. And hopefully by the time we get back... Alright. Well, whatever it was repaired. Which is a little bit annoying because I don't get to check out to confirm what was happening, but the good news is that it's clearly not an issue. Some drone got there before I did. Now we just run back up and see if we have copper wire being produced. So up we go. This is still loading this train. Yeah, the loading speed needs work. So the problem is this is the bottleneck. We need more of these. I'm going to have to do math to figure out how many items a second each of these are. So if it's 864 degrees per second, that's more than 2 full rotations per second. And each full rotation is 5. So this is capable of handling like 10 per second, maybe? And these transport belts are 30 a second. So theoretically this should be like exactly perfect, and I guess if it isn't, it's just something that I'm doing the math wrong. Okay, I mean, so these ones on the right are clearly being limited of how fast they can go by the belt because it's not balanced. Now this one on the left is outputting as fast as it can and it's not especially close. So if we just get 4 of these, then that would be a full belt. I guess that's just the answer. Or if we figured out how to make them output better. Alright, this should be... No, it's really not close at all, is it? Okay, that's fine. Is the copper supply at least doing well? Yeah, copper supply looks like it's going fine. Train is still got some left in it, as do the boxes. And it looks like the limiter here is the output and not the input. Alright, so let's tear all of that out. We need to fix this ever so slightly. So you get a box and that, and then that, and that. So now, assuming that all of these boxes are filled, we should be able to just about fully saturate the output. And then we just need to get this over to there, which we can just do via an underground belt. Where are those? There they are. So we just do that. Then that looks like we're now outputting at almost full speed. Looks like, if anything, it's slightly limited by the speed of the input belts. So that is good. And we're just, I guess, going to have to copy that design. And hopefully, like, it won't be a huge deal. So we blueprint. And we grab all of that. Having the input belt there is a bit annoying. I guess it's fine, though. So this is for train loader fast. We're going to create that blueprint. And okay, put that in. Put that in. Then this old assembler row blueprint, which is very inefficient, can go away. As can this blueprint there. So this is pretty much solid. So yeah, it looks like both halves of these have target full sometimes. So that's good. Now this is, it's gotta be almost, it's really not that close to being filled, is it? Jeez. Trains can store a huge amount, apparently. So we have this wire set up. And we need to make sure that this train is called copper wire output. Like that. And should just upgrade it to use the new thing. I wonder if I can just so this would be like the placement for it, right? And if I just do that, I wonder if it will overwrite properly. Looks like it will. Alright, so now that is in. Yeah, this line isn't necessary. That's just an extra way of getting into the whole setup. Alright, so that should be set up to output the copper wire. And then we will do another one, so train square. Okay, we need to edit this ever so slightly. That specific power pole, I think, is the problem. So save that. And now we place this in. Like that. And then this will be green circuits. And it's gonna take a while to get all set up. But there we go. Okay, there's also this, which we don't need to have there. Alright, so this is all getting placed in. And we really need to just... No, we have plenty of train stops, I guess, because they aren't technically in the logistics network. So I have to stand close to do them manually. I say manually, it's really not manually at all. It's still drone powered, but I have to actually do something for it. There we go. Those are all in. And yeah, having those buffer stops really makes a huge deal in terms of, like, this train square went up in like seconds, whereas the previous one had took several minutes. And that's just because I have that buffer stop there, which has like all the basic materials for building. And we do seem to be missing some stuff there. Despite me standing here, I guess some drone somewhere is called dibs on that. Yeah, there they are, probably. Alright, so then we just have to set up the train stops here. So this is going to be copper wire input like that, and then we need another train stop of input. So this is going to be our first multi-input thing. So this is iron gear input, and then we need to go over here, and this will be green circuit output. Okay, so now I need trains for all of these. Or at least I need trains for some of them. So let's get those in. And then the drones are coming in and refilling the buffer stop after the fact, of course. It'd be nice if some of them could come and give me a top off. Although I suppose the iron... Yeah, let's get another buffer chest there for crafting. And then you can be assigned that group. And now that should get filled up with some stuff. And so then that will also be accelerated. Alright. The copper train has gone. Where is it? I see a train seemingly stuck over here. Yes, so we have all of this all congested because of one of these little trains again. So why are you like this? Okay, so I think we need... Let's just see if making these all chains will help. So the obvious fix is we just have to hop in here and drive it forwards a little bit. But I think actually what we need is we need a chain stop like back here maybe, so that the train won't even get to that point. Cannot divide segments. Alright, cool. Well, we will figure out what that means in a bit. For now, this gets set to manual. Drive you forwards. And then automatic. And off you go. And I ran straight through the train again. Really need to stop doing that. Fortunately, my shields seem to be enough to prevent me from dying in a single shot. Alright, cannot divide segments. Alright, maybe if I take that out and... Ah. Jeez, okay. Now this whole area looks weird and gray. I don't know what that's about. Okay. If I just put a sign there, then it seems to fix itself. And let's just keep... I think the rule was like chain signals into intersections, right? Alright, so that should all be going again. And we need to craft more train cars because we always seem to need more train cars. I need to automate train cars and engines at this point. Alright, so we have our wires. We also have those, which we can't have. And that, which is in the way. So those two have to line up to there. And this... How does all this keep happening? I swear it feels like these pop up in areas where I've already fixed it. I guess it's not a huge deal, but it is certainly annoying. And then that is all good. Alright, so this is a copper wire input. So first we need a 4-train unloader. Like that. And we're going to need another one down here for this one. Like that. Alright, so those all get built up. And the drones are definitely picking up their speed now with the buffer stops and everything. Alright, so that can go in, get all of those connected up. That can go in, get those connected up. So now we need... I'm going to just go requester chest, fast inserter, I guess, and power pole. and set this requester chest to 50 solid fuel. And I'm going to make this a blueprint. Refueler. Create blueprint. Alright, now we just have to put the train in. So you get the train. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you get to go copper wire output until full cargo or 5 seconds of inactivity. Copper wire input until full cargo or 5 seconds of inactivity. Set you to manual, and then at some point some drone will come here, fuel you up, and then you'll be able to go. Although it seems like we might need to put that in there in order for you to work. Alright, so you have an inserter. You have items in the logistics chest. Why is this not inserting? Hello? Hello, what's up? Not much at the moment. We are working on building out this whole train system, and it is seeming to be remarkably confusing. So why? Maybe it's the fast inserter that's the problem. Maybe we just pop a regular old inserter in. Waiting for train. Oh, I see. The train isn't technically at the station. It's like technically like 1 millimeter in front of the station or something along those lines. Alright. So we just have to send it off and it should be fine. Alright, so that is in. Then we go down here, and you get a train. Train with cargo wagon 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is iron gear inputs. So you get to go to iron gear inputs until 5 seconds of inactivity or empty cargo, and you get to go to iron gear output. Where are those? Did I never label it? Oh, I never labeled it. Okay. How's your day been? My day's been pretty good. Yeah, I had a good solid morning. Alright, so you are iron gear output. Save. Now our worker robots are even faster. That is great. We can't do that because we don't have purple. Can't do that because we don't have purple. You slept a lot? That's nice. Yeah, I unfortunately got up at a normal time, which is a shame. Alright, let's just do energy weapons damage, because I don't know what else to do. Alright, then we go back up to here, and now we get to put in iron gear output, 5 seconds of inactivity, or full cargo. And set you up there. Give you some fuel. Off you go. Yeah, I mostly play Factory games. I alternate between Factorio and Satisfactory. at the moment. Having a lot of fun with both. Alright, so then that is in. And I should probably just put that into the loader/unloader blueprint, to be honest. But it's probably fine. Alright, so now we have that. We should be able to grab these resources through this gigantic, massively inconvenient forest and then output them onto this, which let's actually just set this up. So that blueprint goes in, and now we have all of the setup. Right, so that is all set up, and ooh, we lost a laser turret. Is it? It's in that same location, it looks like. It's probably fine. So nothing is being damaged anymore, so it's just going to be a matter of time until that laser turret gets replaced. Alright, so now I need to get rid of this forest and that forest. There we go. So now I can let's just get rid of that whole thing. Goodbye, trees. You have a friend who also streams and plays Factorio games. Yeah, Factorio games are a lot of fun. Definitely enjoy myself playing these. Alright, so now we have all this. When I set up this assembler row, I didn't deliberately set it up to be able to do two things, but I should be able to sort of hijack it. So we can put one thing on each side of the belt. Like that. And we should merge those together just because. Merge those together. And then this goes up. It goes up like that. How often do you stream? I stream every weekday from 2 to 5, although I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow because I'm going to be out of town. But other than that, pretty regular stream. Alright, so this is all set up. And now that train is grabbing the wire. There should be a train down here somewhere grabbing the gears as well. Yes. And it looks like I did at some point upgrade the gears to be properly set up. That's a plus. So we just have to wait. Eventually these trains will all fill. And then we will be able to get these circuit boards running, although speaking of which, I need to actually set the recipe. Oh wait, is this iron plates? Okay, that's fine, because we haven't, nothing's gone here yet. I could have sworn that was gears. Iron plate input. There we go. And then that should, I mean, we're gonna have to wait for this train to get around, I guess. Or put in another similar train. Alright, so that is all doing all that stuff. And we need to paste these across. And then fill them up with productivity modules, because those are very important. There we go. Alright. Then we just take... which belt? This one, I think? Yeah, take this one. And in it goes. Just like that. And we should be good to go for there. And do we need another train? No, I don't think we can manage a second train for the... So I've just realized a problem with this design is that we need to have multiple trains picking up iron plates, obviously, but how exactly do we do that at the moment? It's not entirely clear. Also, what is this? Did I never reattach this? I must have taken it out and then never put it back in. That's annoying, but sure, we can just do this. Take more than a moment. In you go. And then get you distributing again. That would have been annoying if it had gone longer without me noticing. Fortunately, I figured it out relatively quick. Alright, now this train is going to take forever to fill up. So that is that. And this is full of fuel. Yep, sure is. Also, this connection doesn't go across for some reason. That's probably important. Just pop that in case someone needs to use it. Which I don't know if anyone does, but it's in just in case. Alright. So now we have this train which is filling up. And now the problem is, how do I get more trains to... Let's see, is that even a good question? How do I get this set up so that we have enough resources going to all the different things instead of them all just going into the gears, for example? So I guess theoretically, if gears stopped needing any, then it would be fine. But if I have another train just waiting for this, it's going to cause problems. So we need to... First we need to go over here. And you're at train limit 1. Alright. There's more copper. It does seem like most of the things we have right now are working, but I worry I might have made a mistake in how this has to expand. Because we need lots of... We need these iron plates to go lots of different places. And I guess an option would be to just like have more stops for it. like if I just took this and made this also an iron plate stop, I guess that would solve the problem, sort of. And like this could manage up to 3 output stops. And if I needed more, I could just do more production anyways. I don't really want to do that, but we might have to. Alright, so let's go. Is this even going to fit? Is this even going to fit? The answer is not quite. Alright, that's fine. We can just get rid of like one assembling machine. So that can go in like there. And then all of this gets put in. Alright. So that is that. Except for that last bit there. Then. Alright. Problem. Problem is that this has been accidentally connected up. So that needs to go out. And then that needs to go across again. And these need to be emptied of ore. So we're just going to stand here until all that goes away. Alright, so that is cleared up. And now we just need to attach this into the actual plates, which is gonna hurt a little bit to split this even more. Already wasn't the quickest loading in the world, and now half of it is going somewhere else. But there we go. That is in, and now we can call this iron plate output. And then we can get another train in here. So we're going to need to craft it up first. We're also going to need to get a resupply. So it'd be nice for those drones to show up and give me the plates to place the last one of these wagons. Alright, there's a whole bunch of guys doing something. There we go. So let's queue another one of those up. And start putting the train in. So we get train. Cargo, 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 cargo. Then we get that. And this can be assigned to group iron plates, which is iron plate output until full or in activity, and then iron plate input until empty or inactivity, and automatic, and have some fuel, I guess. Don't know where the rest of my fuel is gone. But there we go, that is in. And I should just add this other one to that same group. So there we go. And that should hopefully be all set up. And now we're not going to have problems loading fast enough. So we are going to need faster belts in order to to keep up like this. Alright, so that's all in. How's the pollution going? Pretty much fine. Not really any pollution up here that would be irritating those biters. We do have all these things around the sort of southwest corner, which we keep getting attacked at. But that is probably fine. Alright, meanwhile, wire has shown up at the Green Circuits factory. And speaking of which, I need to make sure that all of this is productivity moduled. It is, although the gears aren't. We need to change that. So let's get productivity modules. And control, click all these ones across. There we go. Efficiency acquired. And there comes a quick resupply. And did we do those? We did. Did we get the wires? We did not. We got some of them though. Alright. So there you go. You all get productivity modules. So that should be more efficient there. Now we drop down here. And those are all productive as well. So that should be all pretty much good to go. Okay, why is there no train there? Where's that train gone? It hasn't gone up here. I could have sworn there was an iron gear train. But I guess seemingly not. Alright. So now we really just have to wait for iron plates. And it's... I mean, they're filling. They're filling alright. I guess we should probably put in more of this. Because this is clearly not 100%. So we get smelter stack. And then we get this, which can go in like that. And then that can go in like that. And then all of these are going to have to get built by drones, which seems like it's happening pretty quick. There we go. Alright, so that's all getting put together. And then what we have to do is we need to take that and connect that up. And looks like some of those need to get powered up manually, because of course they do. And then this alternative output, we need to split it, I guess, like that. So then half of it is going to go over that way and meet up with this, which is actually a bit convoluted and silly. But there we go. Then the other half is going to go over this way and up here, where it can go into that. Alright, so that is that. Now all of these are producing, but oh, electricity is dying. Our steam turbines aren't going very fast at all. Okay, so obviously we have a lot of power which could be theoretically used because of all the drones. The steam turbines not running is sort of a massive crisis. Especially because now we're being attacked while at low power. That's not ideal at all. Alright, so let's head down here, figure out what went wrong with the steam turbines. Is it just all of the fuel getting diverted to other places? Alright, so we have all this, which isn't running because... Is the entire factory just dead? Oh, that's bad. That's very bad. I don't understand how that's even happened to begin with. But it means that all of our defenses, except for some old gun turrets, aren't currently active. And we're being attacked in multiple locations. Okay, this is a bit of a catastrophe. Hopefully we can hold on until daytime, so the solar panels are obviously still going to work. And I'd imagine it probably is just... Alright, so this area has been reset. This area still had gun turrets, so it's fine. The copper patch down here is a bit harder to say for certain. We're gonna have to run down and see. Get around this giant cliff. Alright, copper patch. You were attacked. Are you all good? No, you're not. Don't know how we managed to survive that one without losing any miners. Not going to complain, obviously. That all goes back in. And the steam engines are still not at all working up to speed. And also one of the trains has died. So that's like an unrelated situation there. So we need to figure out what has happened to our presumably just solid fuel power in general. Alright, so first of all, let's boot this train up. If we have any fuel at all, we have some random coal. So you can get started again temporarily. Alright, now they're destroying some more gun turrets up there. Alright. This is sort of like the worst case scenario because we keep getting attacked, which means I can't even like sit there and try to figure out what happened to the power because I need to run around repairing our defenses instead. So up here... Alright, fortunately we were attacked at seemingly the only part of the base which relies mostly on turrets for power. Alright. Seem to have stabilized for the time being. At least during the day, we have some power, but day isn't going to last forever. We need to figure out what happened. Alright, so what happened is almost no steam power. But why? So the solid fuel is coming out of these machines, which are low on fluid ingredients and also low on power. So these are low on fluid ingredients and now low on power. So I think what might have happened is at some point along this whole line we grab the solid fuel to be used in the... No, I mean that's here. And obviously these are both doing totally fine with plenty of solid fuel. So, how... I guess it's just an output problem. Okay, night is falling, and the steam turbines are still not back online. I can fix this temporarily. So either by diverting that coal into the turbines, or by just yoinking some of the solid fuel from elsewhere. And I guess we will just grab a couple stacks of that and head down here. And then box, inserter, put you in. So that should help a little bit, but I really don't know why there's a shortage to begin with. And we don't really have all that much coal, I don't think. Alright, so we... Yeah, see now the inserters themselves don't have power, which is cutting power to the fuel, which is breaking the entire factory. So this is basically just the entire factory just straight up failing. And in order to solve that, we could shift over to even more solar power and even more capacitors. Or we could make sure we have just a limitless supply of solid fuel. Now, what is going on that is causing us to not have the solid fuel here? That's what I don't understand. Like, fluid ingredient shortage. Okay, but why? You were doing so fine for so long. Did a biter, like, chew through the pipe or something? Like, I guess just because it's nighttime and everything is stopped, the fuel pumps have also stopped. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Alright, so what is this line of solid fuel going to? Because it is looking quite full. So it is daytime again, which means we have solar power to get this whole thing booted. Now this line of solid fuel is going into these machines. And I mean, I just don't get what happened here. So this line of solid fuel is going into those machines, but this much bigger line of solid fuel isn't getting enough fluids. And this is the solid fuel that's providing like the main power for everything. Alright, they're attacking again. Fortunately, it is daytime at the moment. So we could just go crazy with more solar panels to fix this. We could also figure out nuclear power at some point to fix this. Or we could just figure out what on earth is using all of the fuel. Because if we can like figure out where all that extra fuel is going and turn it off, then we should be fine. Or maybe we can like speed module the oil. Let's head down there and see. So down here we go. This is the oil patch over here. And maybe we just need to... Can these accept modules? Yes, they can. I don't know what productivity would even do on that. So, let's see here. Speed... Where are the speed modules? I have 100 productivity, 50 efficiency. Did I not ever queue up an order for speed modules? These productivity modules. Apparently not. Well, let's set that then. And I guess just head up and find it. So yeah, the crude oil is apparently insufficient for how much we're using at the moment. Alright, so you and you get to be passive provider chests. I could have sworn I'd done that already, but whatever. So now we grab you, we head down here, and get in here. So yeah, crude oil is currently apparently just 0. Alright, speed. Speed modules into all of these. Gotta get so close. Alright, so these are now producing more crude oil than they were previously. Which one would think would be enough. Apparently one would be wrong. Alright, so the next step of fixing this, aside from that crude oil, which seems to have not meaningfully worked. Maybe it has a little bit, but obviously not enough. The next step would be to get more solar panels so that we can charge up our capacitors during the day, which is kind of going to suck a lot because it's going to use drones to do that, and the drones are going to use a whole bunch of power. And Yeah, that's not great. Alright, is this belt close enough for those loaders? No. Alright, what we can do is that is mostly on the right. So if we take that out, actually I think we want that to be like that, and then we send coal along there. Then we have a backup power supply, so when daytime comes, then all of these can be alternatively fueled by coal if need be. And then we should have stable steam power again. And then we're going to want to either set up... Let's see about setting up nuclear. So we need to first find some uranium, right? I don't know where that would be or what it would look like. Probably green, right? I haven't just stumbled across any. There's some iron patches up there, some stone patches over there. There's a little bit of copper just off the map over there. But I do not see any uranium. So what is the... Yeah, it's just mine entity uranium ore. So I just have to go out and find it, I guess. Alright, so the factory is back online. We have survived through that whole catastrophe. And now we should have enough power to get this going again. And it also looks like we have a train deadlock just on top of everything else, because why not? Okay. So this train has a whole bunch of gears. And it... Oh, I see. That's fine. I don't really care about that. This train... Actually, what I can do is I can go down here and call this iron gears as a group. Then I can go up here and assign you to the iron gears group. And now I guess you'll just circle around a bit. And so obviously we're not really going to get anything done with those trains, but at least they won't be sitting there looking like a deadlock. And when we do eventually need iron gears, which we will, then they'll be doing something. Alright, so power has been reestablished. The accumulator is charging. So clearly we need more power, because it keeps being a problem. So I guess the only thing to do is to set up a whole bunch of radars in various places and hope we can find a uranium patch. And it is entirely possible that it will be very, very far away. So let's start scanning. You get a radar. Is there any way of, like, filtering the map so that I can not see all of this random junk? Yeah, so I can get rid of turret coverage. I could get rid of pollution. Get rid of train stop names. Player names. I don't know what tags are. I like seeing the robots fly around. Logistics network, yeah, we don't really need to worry about that. I guess recipe icons on might be mildly nicer to look at. And may as well put the pipelines on the map as well, I don't know. Alright, so I guess we just have to like head in a direction until we find some uranium. Alright, actually these don't cause pollution directly by them, right? So I should be fine to just like run a wire out this way and then just like put down a radar scanner every so often, and hopefully that will get us to see. Alright, so we're nearing the edge of the map. There's a spider's nest south of us, but we're just going to ignore them. Alright, so now we are out here. And we're going to put a... How am I so bad at finding these? Put a radar tower in. Okay, and now we're going to have to... Actually, can we see how much range the radar towers have? It's not a huge amount, is it? Well, hopefully it'll be good enough. And now we're just going to have to run back and fill in whichever gaps showed up in this power line. Alright, was that the only one? Yes. So now this radar can show us over this way. And there's a lot of biters around. No uranium in sight, though. We've also seemed to have hit some sort of coastline. Okay, let's try to... Yeah, so these biters aren't just gonna let me walk past, are they? So that is a bit of a conundrum. The two nests are just too close for me to slip by one of them. Now, can I... I'm just right between three biters' nests here. This is not the safest location on the map at the moment. Alright, well, if there is uranium out that way, maybe the radar will show it to me. Other than that, I guess we could just keep an eye on those biters over there. But we're gonna have to figure out how to find the uranium first. Also, just check the power now is... Still seems like it's less than it was. We have these massive spikes of laser power. Other than that, the lasers are pretty low. But boy, when they spike, they use a lot. So I guess we're just gonna have to... I really want to find uranium here. Maybe if we head south? I mean, there are so many biters everywhere that, like, getting anywhere out into the map is pretty brutal. So I would really rather not go massive exploration stuff just to find nothing. Alright, we might be able to sneak down there, like sort of down that path in the middle, and then maybe there'll be uranium that way, who knows. Alright, down we go. Actually, I should probably just be doing this in a car, right? Just like get a car or even a tank maybe, and then just cruise along that way. That would probably be a lot easier and faster than walking around on foot. Yeah, let's do that. So we're gonna get out past these train tracks, and I can craft a tank. I think I want it to just be a car, though. It's relatively cheap for when it inevitably gets destroyed. Alright. Speaking of it inevitably getting destroyed, I do not have any fuel on me at the moment. I mean, I have 8 coal, but I'm not confident that that is going to last me very long at all. Alright, so now I have plenty of coal. Although I have sort of depleted the last bits of that to get it. So now we can go back down to the car and fuel her up, and I guess give you some ammo just in case something goes wrong. And then we need to head south-southeast. Gosh. Controlling this car is going to be the hard part. Okay. Maybe a tank would be easier, because I could maybe just smash through trees with a tank. Alright. There's all sorts of biters' nests around. But we are getting a lot of distance scouted here very quickly. This is definitely the right way of doing it. Alright. So let's just try curving around this way. There's a coal patch there. I still don't see any uranium. Oh, okay, that is bit close to a biter's nests. And there's another one. Evasive maneuvers. And we should be clear now. I'm going to keep an eye on the mini-map and on the actual screen. Alright, so we can just cut right by them and run into a rock. Okay. And we are definitely antagonizing the entire biter population here, because I am barely in control of this car. Alright, there's copper. Through some trees, I guess. Alright, there's another nest. And some sort of water feature there. Okay, let's go over this way. Okay, found some. So that is a successful mission if I can just make it back safely and not get stuck in the trees. Okay, that's bad. We're going to have to abandon the car. It's just not maneuverable enough to escape from that situation. Okay. Now we have to run. And we should be... Oh, we just ran into a biter's nest. That is bad. So we can slip through the forest, and that should hopefully give their pathfinding some trouble. And then run over this way. Yeah, this is much more difficult at walking speed. It would have been really lovely if I could have gotten that car out. And then we're going to have to force our way through here to get to this uranium. Oh, that's bad. That is very bad. Alright. Should be clear to just make a break for it. And alright, we have our walls here. Should be safe now. Yep, nice and easy. Alright, well that was a bit stressful, but we did eventually find us a uranium patch. So now the mission is going to be running a train line down there through all of these biters. And also I think this area is just like generically under attack as well. Alright, so we have substations, we have electrical poles, we have laser turrets, and the grid has power and accumulator charge, so we shouldn't be causing any massive problems here. Zoom out a bit. We have those guys who are all just sort of in an awkward position for me. Alright, so we need to bring this down here. And then place the turret box. Oh, there's a tree in the way, which I need to hold shift. Alright, get those lasers in. Okay, no, that's not going to work. The biters are getting through the substation. We need to... Alright, the lasers are online. Lasers are online. Alright, so now we just stand here, chip that guy down. Alright, it is actually incredibly annoying that these guys apparently have just enough range to mess with me while my turrets can't reach them. Alright, we need to retreat and let our shield refill. And then clear out that last turret. Alright, turret down. Now I think we just do this the old-fashioned way. Get those guys in. And, alright, that is one base cleared, eventually. So we need to reclaim all those resources. And how many repair packs do we have on us at the moment? Currently we have 16. Well, we definitely need more of those, and I think we also need more robots. So we're going to have to run all the way back to drone range, I guess. Yeah, so I think we also need to make this... Probably should have been done a while ago. So you get one of those, and you get... Where is it? A buffer chest. And this buffer chest is going to be... Just make sure to have some repair packs on you. And then we need to bring it up. So let's get in. Now we need to connect the drone networks together. So up you go. And then then you also get powered on. And then you go up to there and get powered on. And should just be a couple more of these. Actually, I'm just gonna shift them over slightly so that they're in this power line anyways. Alright, so you go like that, and then gotta be close to connecting across. It can't be much further. Alright, yeah, I mean, we're basically there. So that goes in there. That goes in there. And then we just need the power lines to go up there. And just fit that last one in, and then this should all be good. Hello? Somebody? Pop that in. Alright, drone network has been expanded. Now we have access to repair packs down at the copper side of this. So we need to continue on south. And how is electricity going? It is currently nighttime. So yeah, we are using the accumulator just naturally over the night, which is expected, but not ideal. I would like to have that accumulator charge for spamming laser turrets mostly. And is this receiving? Is this buffer chest receiving any? On the way, 101. Yes, it is. I should probably set that to 200 since it's kind of far away. Alright, so that is that. We are going to have to wait for that because we do not currently have enough repair packs, and our method of getting through uses a lot of them. Although we might technically just be able to like slip past through this forest alongside the coast. Alright. What is going on up here? Why does this keep happening? How are there even biters attacking up there? Doesn't make much sense at all. Well, we should probably go investigate, unfortunately. Nah, I don't feel like it. I'm sure it'll be fine. It probably won't result in the complete annihilation of the factory. Alright, so now we can just continue that along. If we can get this train track to go past down to the uranium without having to interact with the rest of these biters' nests, that would be great. Because there shouldn't be any pollution along this, because it is just like a train track. Biters, from what I understand, don't really care about that. Alright, so we are going to need to be, a little bit sneaky, right? So we're going to have to go down that way. Because the nest is right there. It's a pretty big one. But if we are very sneaky, we might be able to slip this train through. Is that true? Let's just... We're walking here. then we can get by both without notice, although I don't know if I want to. Might just be more convenient to bulldoze through at least one of the two, and probably this one, since it's more in the way. Yeah, so let's get back up here. This one should be ignorable. There's a whole big forest in between us and it. We're gonna have to bring power down. And also should probably just get another buffer chest with basics. Just because, like, obviously we're gonna need some of that stuff down here, and if we continue expanding, then we might, like, this whole area is very far from the rest of the base, so that's gonna be handy. Alright, so we go down here, and actually, no, we don't want to go around that corner like that. We want to stay close to this train track. So we go too far, then we will have problems with the locals. Alright, so now we're here. And if we take that nest out, we should be able to cut that way and then straight down to the uranium without much trouble. However, this giant nest... Yeah, I think we just have to clear out both of them. I keep trying to be sneaky about it, but I think the answer is just get rid of both nests and maybe that extra one as well. Alright, so we get a big power pole. And we get a turret box, which, let's see, if we put it in there, then, I mean, the range, they're pretty far away, but they are close enough to trigger. So that should pretty comfortably deal with all of the regular old biters. Right, that's fine. Not even really taking any damage doing that. Alright, so then we have the hard part, which is pushing up to there. And we do get the laser turrets in. Repairs are keeping up, looks like. And we are getting rid of most of those turrets. And onto the nests, which are just barely within range apparently. So let's make sure that those go away. And then from here we should be able to just retreat into range every so often and get these guys done with grenades. Alright, now this should be mostly safe. Just go a little bit further forwards and pop those guys in. Get rid of those last two. Alright, another nest destroyed, and that one went pretty smoothly. I think the forest may have helped conceal our first setup or so, something like that. Not sure, but it's possible. Are we down construction robots? Looks like we might be short on construction robots. Yeah, we're gonna head back up for another resupply. Hopefully we'll have construction robots, and also power poles, weirdly, are low. It's been a while since we put that buffer chest in, so it should have a good amount of stuff in it. Up we go. And it sure is getting stuff delivered. Alright, so there we go. That is all good. Looks like we are... The oil is being attacked again. Unsurprising, really. Now, what I really want are more of the construction bots. I currently am down to 11. And there are 39 on the way, apparently. So that... We're just going to wait here for those. Don't want to head down, because the construction bots are obviously critical for getting all of these built, the boxes built fast. Lyra Voss, hello. I am doing pretty good. We are... Yes, I can see your chat. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. We are currently pushing southwards so that we can get some uranium. And... let's see, this is packed full of logistics bots. Alright. Have grenades. Back up to usual. The electrical poles aren't quite up to usual, but should be getting there. And yeah, it's just gonna take a bit for this whole area to get set up. Where are my construction bots? You say there are 39 on the way, but I do not see them anywhere. And, alright. Occasional random attacks, still not a major concern. And there we go. Still only have 11 of these. Maybe if I just head further north, they'll be quicker. Does this have any spare construction bots? No, it does not. Unsurprising. So it looks like this sort of thin line of roboports is struggling to keep all the bots charged fast enough. And they're sort of getting semi-stranded down here, which is not ideal. Not ideal at all. Of course, eventually it should be fine. Oh, we are up to 20 construction bots now, which means we should be within range to hopefully be picking up the rest of them. Yep, here they come. And we're up to 32 with another couple along the line. Should be just about there. Alright. So once we are... yeah, we're at 40 construction bots now. That's probably good enough. Might want to, like, put extra backup roboports along this line, since clearly there's a bit of a problem there, but I think that'll be something to deal with later if it's, like, a permanent issue. For now, we're going to head back south, and there should just be one biter's nest left to go before we can claim this uranium field as our own. Alright, so that gets to come out. And we're going to pick up some random wood with it. And yeah, I guess we probably don't need a huge amount of extra walls. The uranium patch is not exactly huge. Alright, so now we zoom all the way out for situational awareness. And we find our power poles. Alright, so the biters are just up there. And these electrical poles do have power. Alright, so let's just get a turret box in. So we start with a big electrical pole, and then... Okay, they found me. That's not good. Alright. That was close, but we did manage to get it all set up. And the repairs go in. Alright, so now that gets to snipe the worms and also the nests as well. Although it might not be enough. We might need even more. That goes in and gets even more of the worms in the nests. And now we're just going to push right up into their faces and put them in there, and that should be the end of this nest. Alright. Operation Turret Creep is successful once again. Probably used a large amount of power and turrets and repair packs doing this, but it's also pretty quick and easy. We can just pick all these back up. And construction robots seemed like didn't really get damaged that time around. Alright, so now we just have to run actual regular old power lines down to the uranium patch. And this isn't gonna, like, kill me when I stand next to it. How do you not have an MG? I have simply never bothered to craft one. That is how. Alright, so we take our walls, we put the walls around the thing. I mean, 90% of the damage I'm doing is going to be coming from the laser turrets that I spam down anyways, so like it doesn't really matter. I guess I could craft a better weapon, but like again, it's not exactly necessary for the way I fight the biters. Alright. Alright, so uranium patch is walled in. Now we need to obviously tear down some of that wall and craft up some gates. And now we have to start mining some uranium. So let's just do all this. And it looks like the patch extends out to here. It's very hard to see where exactly the patch ends because it's green and the thing that it's sitting on is green. But something like this will get most of the patch. And And then we just place these down here. Alright, I heard some biters. Yeah, they're just down over there. Don't mind them. Alright, let's get power in so that we can appropriately turret these areas. We probably need turrets on all sides just because of how distant this is. There are biters all over the place. Alright, so these turrets all go in there. And then we just need to power on the miners, like so. Alright, now we have to get these out, and I think I might not have left myself enough space for that. Alright. Missing required fluid. Consumes sulfuric acid. Ah. Okay. Fair enough. That is going to be more work than I anticipated then. So we're going to have to bring... Well, we're going to have to set up the train down here anyways, so it's not that bad, really. We're just going to have the train bring some sulfuric acid down and then bring uranium up. Okay, so we're going to have to figure that out. And it is also 4:42. So let's just drag this train line up, and then that will probably be it. So we need, first of all, we need that. Then we need, actually I had a blueprint for this, right? Alright, so this is going to be probably extreme overkill for this, but it also might not be. Who knows? Alright, so that goes up there. Now all of this is in. So next step, we need to also have the fluid output cars for this, which I guess we could just do something like this, and then let's see, the train can have like, this is probably gonna have its own custom train setup with like some number of cars of uranium and some number of cars of sulfuric acid all in the same train, maybe. Or maybe it'll be better to have two trains. It's probably better in the long run to just have a second train for it. Alright, so you can curve out like that. And that will let you bypass that. And then, because of that, this line actually needs to go less steep. So that all comes out. And then that is going to connect up there. And what was I doing? That goes there. This connects up. And hopefully this is enough space for the other train to also have its stop. So then we'll ultimately have like, I don't know, something. This is very much very much not really thinking hard enough about this. But something like that. And I guess that's just not going to be doing anything. Okay, so we just need to like shift the loaders over a little bit so that they line up correctly with where the trains are. So they go there, and there, and there, and then that has to get its electrical pole back. Alright, so we have that, we have that. Then this is going to get a train stop. Okay, and then we're then going to want this to go back a little further so that it has space to do a whole thing. And then this has to... Let's see, how does this work? That has to go like that, and then in there. Alright, so then these get to be... This will be uranium output, and this gets to be sulfuric acid input, and then they are going to need signs there and back here. Alright, then that can go out, and this can then go around here to be close-ish, so that I can run these two lines up together. And that goes, and that is going to go straight through a power pole, which is probably an important thing. Yeah, so this whole power line is just there now, I guess. I'm going to have to, I guess, just bring this in even closer to avoid that power line. And then these go up. And then one of these can meet up with that line, which I already drew a little bit of. And then the other one is going to have to go alongside it. So that is going to have to go up like that, and then curve in there. That one just curves like that. And then we just need to keep this one going, which I guess that is fine. And then this just keeps going up. Have to stay close enough to let the drones place all of them, of course. That one goes in, and all those get placed. And then we should be... Alright, so now we're back here at the copper input side of things, which is still not where we need to get to. But I think we're going to probably just call it here, simply because we have a whole lot of setup to do to make all of this work, and we're not going to get a functioning nuclear power plant in 10 minutes, so we will leave this for next time. Alright, so thanks everyone for hanging out. I had a good time. I will not be streaming tomorrow because I'm going to be out of town, but I will be back on Monday playing Satisfactory, and then if you're interested in Factorio, I'll be back on Tuesday as usual. So we're just going to be missing one day, no big deal there. So make sure to follow if you haven't already. Had a lot of fun, And yeah, that's about it. I will see you guys next time. Bye.